Good morning. We're going to start talking about the writing process today. And the first thing we want to discuss is the different types of writing that we can have. Now, we know that there are different reasons to write, and that applies to what we write. So, usually we break this down into nonfiction and fiction. Okay, and then we usually have to focus on the reasons for why we write as well. Some of those reasons might be for school, for entertainment, to inform, to persuade. Okay, and we have various other reasons that are going to go, but these are going to be most of our main ones. Now, with school, we're of course going to break it down into what type of writing we're going to have in terms of inform or persuade. However, when we look at school assignments, they often are very different than an assignment that we're writing for other purposes. And most of us are only going to be writing when we were assigned to write, such as individuals who might journal, okay, who might write letters or emails. These would be for modes of communication. Now, when we're looking at our nonfiction, and we're going to go ahead and look at school as our main source right now, what kind of things may we have to write in school? We might have to write a letter. We may have to write an email to a teacher, specifically with a request. We may have to write an essay. And of course, we can break it down into the different types of essays. We can have an informative essay. We can have a persuasive essay. Can have a personal narrative. Can have a straight up narrative. Okay. We can also look at things like having to write a speech, or perhaps, like my class, you may have to write parts of a debate. You may have to compose some poetry. Okay? You may have to write in terms of answering questions, such as maybe a literature-based question. You read something, and then you respond. Okay, so oftentimes that would go into something that is reflective. You are reflecting on something that has been written. So we have all these different reasons so far, okay? We have other reasons to write, such as we may have to complete a resume. We may have to have a cover letter. You may have to complete or do a thank you card, letter, or email. You might write a letter of complaint or appreciation. Like I said, there are so many different reasons to write, and yet we find ourselves only concentrating in this area over here, that we often forget that we're writing for different reasons. Writing is a very, very important means of communication. Sadly, we cannot communicate via mind to mind, so in order to communicate what's going on in our minds, we must write or speak. Sometimes that has to come in the form of something written down because we are not communicating at the exact same time that the missive is being recorded or the other person is not in the same location, which of course makes sense to us. So because we have different types of writing, all different types of writing are important, and we are having to do various things with our writing. Now, one of the important things about writing is, regardless of what type of writing we have, we should always engage in the writing process. One thing I have noticed with students is this writing process has become shorter and shorter. Now, there's reasons why our writing process is short, okay, where we don't engage in the steps that we know we should engage in. Some of those reasons are things like procrastination that leads to no time, okay, which usually means we are right up against a deadline. Okay, we might do something and just start writing the assignment because it's easy. It's much easier to just start writing the assignment rather than to go through the writing process. Okay, we might have something in terms of we have no confidence in our own writing skills, so because we have no confidence in our own writing skills, why go through the writing process, because it's not going to make a difference anyway in terms of our final product. Now, let me tell you this is not true. As you've seen in the videos, writing is a skill that can be improved upon. I know that I am a much better writer today than I was when I was in high school. And of course, I'm a much better writer now than when I was in second grade. We understand that our writing can improve from the time we're in second grade to the time we're in 11th grade. However, we think that there is some point where we stop, where we no longer improve our writing skills and we're either a good writer or we're a poor writer. And that is just not the case. The more time we spend writing and engaging in the writing process, one, the better outcome we're going to have, the better products we're going to get, but the more confidence we're going to have in that process. Now, the best ways to improve your writing are going to be very simple. One, I've already told you, is to engage in the writing process and to go through all of the steps. Another one is simply to write. You may have been in classes that have assigned journals. I know in the past I have assigned journals, but with this latest COVID and pandemic, I've decided to eliminate journals, not because I think that there is less of a need for them, but because I feel students are so overwhelmed with the amount of material that they're having to cover already that we don't need to throw something else into the mix. But journals, just writing down your ideas is going to improve your writing. Another thing is to improve your writing is to read. As we read others' writing, we are able to engage in a process where we compare our own writing to it and are able to improve. Another is to proof others' writing. If we're able to understand and able to find mistakes in other people's writing, we're more likely to find mistakes in our own writing. Now, I'm going to switch over to the writing process and start going through the step-by-step writing process. In order to do that, I'm going to cut this video. And I want you to engage in the next video with a piece of paper and pencil, or get yourself an open document where you're going to take notes. Notes are for yourself. Notes are for you to remember these types of things in terms of what exactly am I writing, what exactly am I finding is important, and what am I going to do with it. I'm stopping this video now, and the next video will engage with the writing process.